Steve here, FlipSideCT. I posted about 3 videos in 1 week. That's a big thing for me. One of them was Q Magazine Supplement, some rock photos from that magazine from a while ago, and I wanted to share it with you. If you haven't seen it, just check it out. It's not a long video. The point is just to turn you on to some pictures you may never have seen of some cool artists. The other video was a turn on to some vinyl finds that I had from a show, and anyway, I don't think it was just a show, but anyway, the third video was a little documentary I made for the band Tin House. Some of you heard of them, some of you haven't, but it was about the turn on about this band from Florida and all the pain and suffering and some happy times that they went through with their blues rock playing, and so you can check those out. But what I'm going to be talking about is 2 albums. These albums are just for my opinion, and I'm just trying to again turn you on. If it's something you don't like, move forward, don't watch, but this is something that I enjoy, and just again, it's all about the turn on here and just exposing you to something that you may not have heard of, some things you have, but there's a VC member that a lot of you do know, some of you don't. His name is Dr. Dell from Canada, and Dell has his own channel called Dr. Dell. His name is also Shannon, and he does play guitar and vocals, and he has an album out. And the band is called Green Street Underground, and there's about 5 members total. David Cunnington plays drums, a high school friend of Dell's, played in a lot of bands together. David Baxter is the lead guitar and keys, big contributor to this album because he also produced it and mixed it and really gave his, what do you say, his ingredient for the music, and it gives it a lot of distinction. The other distinct part is Dell's voice is really great. When it comes to bands, I just love different vocals. I don't go for the normal vocals in the sound of these contemporary artists. I love something that's a little bit abstract, a little edge to it. And then there's Chris Kuplin, who plays bass, and then Kara Manovich backing vocals. So this is the album. The album is really cool. I just got this, and I'll talk more on how you can. This is a green marble here. The songs are, I believe there's 7 of them on this album, and you can get this on the website. Again, I'll just mention that a little bit later. But just some information about the Green Street Underground. They got the name, well, basically because that's where they play, on Green Street and in the basement. So very appropriate name, and very cool. The Mystery Of is the name of the album. Dell's really excited because he had about 400 albums. And so a lot of them, some of them went to friends and some to record stores. Some are being sold, of course, on the website. But he is really psyched, and I was psyched to listen to this. I heard him play a demo, and I just loved it, and this is a sound that I really enjoy. So what I'm going to say is, if I would play Tom Petty, the Jayhawks, and mix in the Green Street Underground, I think that would work really fine. And that's a great compliment, and that's one that I could give that's really high, because it has that, I'm not going to say Americana sound, because they're from Canada, but it has that type of sound, that type of delivery. You can hear some of the influence and some Stones-ish style, not the hard rocking, but just really cool medium rock sound. In fact, my favorite song is Just Misunderstood.
They don't understand, just joking around 99% of the time. Letting go of the tangible, looking for something visceral. I've forgotten how to set my alarm, I can't find my charm.
The band started about 4 years ago. And like I mentioned, David came in and gave his contribution for guitar work. And they're not doing a tour, I guess, North America. They're really going to be locally. They got to push the album. So they are going to probably do some local playing. Del's been writing since high school. Some of these songs, one starts from the 90s and the others are, about 10 years old. So it covered a good span of time in Del's life. He wanted to put these together because it's sort of a storybook of his life, and lyrically it's really, really good. I could just say the production is just wonderful. I was just so into it, and been listening to several times, and I had headphones on and I was just grooving. My eyes were closed, and all of a sudden I feel a tap and my wife saying, "What are you doing?" And I was just in la la land listening, because when you listen to it, it's really spaced. And again, I talk about this, you could hear the instruments. There's no clutter and so many layers. You can hear everything. It's panned, it's spaced beautifully, and I could focus on each instrument as I listened. So when she saw me into it, I talked to her, I showed her who Del was and the band. She picked out the Red Rock Eater, which is their logo. She knew who that was right away, and she was laughing. And she goes, "Oh, I'm going to go get the book. I'll show you who it is." It's like from the 60s, the Red Rock Eater. So that was funny. So they have about 2 albums worth of music, I should say, that they want to be working on. So they're already thinking how to move forward. Again, being I'm a newbie, I'm looking forward. I'm excited to what they have in the future. Especially musically, they're going to grow even more and have more potential. So that's what I wanted to mention. Check out the website, the Green Street Underground, and look at you can listen to the music, and also order it. I believe it's $30 Canadian, and then there's some shipping. But this is supporting Del, his great band, and a VC guy, and double thumbs up. Great job, Del and the band. Looking forward to more good things from you. All right, VC, this next album, I'm a newbie to it. I am not even I didn't know there was a category for the genre this band is in. And it was really interesting just to read up about it. And I'm not going to sit here and put everything out on the table for you. If you have any interest, you're going to need to look this up a little further. There's a lot to it, and this band is really, really creative. And I've heard some VC members talk about it, and I started getting interested, and I started listening, and I just said, I gotta own this. Hard to find these albums. They're reissued, but still some of them are a little bit hard to find. So I grabbed, there's like 3 or 4 really good ones for this band. So, well, first of all, The genre this band is in is called post-rock. I never knew there was a name called post-rock. It's a mix of space rock, ambient, experimental rock, and they're using rock instrumentation, and they're using it for non-rock purposes. And it's using a lot of guitar as facilitation. We've seen this, we've heard this before, but they just took it to a different level. For example, they'll use the cello bow, B-O-W. And not to the sense the way Jimmy, well, sort of a little bit the way Jimmy Page used it, with Dazed and Confused and other songs. But it's not about riffs, it's not about power chords. Again, it's using layers and effects of sound here. And that's what sort of post-rock is, and that's what this band is doing. They're from Iceland. The band is called Sigur Ros, R-O-S, S-I-G-R-O-S. This album's name is Orgaitis Bilarun. That's how you pronounce it. They're from Reykjavik, Iceland. And in the opening scene, that's who I played. They just love these guys. They're just brilliant. They're a phenomenon. Their lyrics are in their native tongue, but also it's really wild is they have this gibberish, this artificial language that they also use for some songs. And the music is spooky, beautiful, slow, melancholic, quiet. It's dream pop. It's hypnotic. There's a silky, resonant voice, falsetto, but it's the use of all the instrumentation together to bring these waves of sound. It's just unpredictable. This album, there's a picture of some alien baby with angel wings and an umbilical cord attached to it. There's not much to it. The albums are, this custom label, thick. I wasn't even sure what speed to play it on. It is 33, but you can imagine, I seriously didn't know. And I'm playing it, and I said, oh my gosh, I had to go up to YouTube and match the sounds. I'm saying, where am I going to go with this? So that was some chuckles that I had. So again, they're from Iceland. Jonesy is the lead guy here. This album's from 1999. They played on the Vanilla Sky soundtrack, the Cameron Crowe movie. They worked with, toured as backup for Radiohead. I think that's pretty cool credentials. Radiohead knows, how good these guys are. So it's truly innovative, wonderful sound to me. This past weekend, I was in the warm weather. I was driving down in Brooklyn area and watching the sunset over New York City, and I was driving over Whitestone Bridge, and I was playing this music, and it was just such a soundtrack for my life at that moment. It was just beautiful for me. That's about what I wanted to say. It's, again, I'm new to this. A lot of people millions are hip to it already. But again, I wanted to turn this on to you. Hopefully you like it. If not, hey, it is what it is. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed and got something out of it. Got some good things to show coming up again. Shows, some Discog finds, which were really neat. But thank you.
Thank you.